Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? Jamie, that's me here. Listen, I want to talk to you guys real quickly about Miss Kenya Moore, okay? Because she has yet to get this divorce from Mr. Mark Daly or Daly, however you say that last name. She's still tied the hell up, okay? I believe they divorced or were expected to divorce, okay? They filed for one. I believe it was in 2021 or 2020, somewhere up in there. I know they had separated shortly after getting married and shortly after he appeared on the show. They separated, then a divorce finally was filed, but it seems like she's still stuck in it, okay? I feel like she's been, what? Girl, she been trying to get a divorce longer than she was actually in a relationship. And I really kind of, I feel bad for Miss Kenya. You feel what I'm saying? We're also learning that he did not sign a prenup. Even though I feel like this was information we kind of already knew a long time ago, he has not signed a prenup. I know that TMZ ended up catching up with her and they were asking her about the divorce. And she was like, yeah, he hasn't signed a prenup, unfortunately. So, that's kind of the holdup because I'm sure Mark wants, access to maybe things that he hasn't necessarily gained or had any input on, probably wants some coins off of her celebrity status, knowing that he didn't put in on this, right? I feel like after a while, after maybe like a year or so, if they haven't come to like clear understanding, like grant those people the divorce and then let's figure the other stuff out on the back end, I guess. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if we don't figure out XYZ, or like if the defendant is being pushy, or I won't even say pushy, but if they're not trying to resolve, then after 2 years or something like that, okay, everything is going to default back to the plaintiff. But if the plaintiff isn't willing to give, girl, I don't even know. It just sounds, and just the fact of me thinking about it and talking about it with y'all, it sounds frustrating. I never want to experience it. Like, girl, it sounds frustrating as hell. I'm sure Kenya learned a lot from this relationship, being with this person, meeting a person that she thought she was going to be with forever, have a child with, and then here we are. And she probably, really saw him as a different guy, which is why she never had a prenup to begin with. And it makes me just think about Mark and how fake he was and how he kind of put on a certain image for that lady. You feel what I'm saying? You know what else comes to mind? Before we get into the other audio, what comes to my mind is when people try to tell folks to choose do better when you choose a baby daddy, or choose a good baby daddy. Y'all should have chose a better baby daddy. And it's like, but maybe she thought she was choosing a good one. You feel what I'm saying? Like maybe she thought she was choosing a good one, and maybe the person that, he showed her to be, he ended up not being that exact person. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, how long does that come? How far can you take that type of statement when people say that, like choose a better baby daddy, woo, 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 maybe she thought she was getting a good one. But anyway, listen, she actually had a chance to have a sit down over there on the Tamron Hall show. And y'all know she went on the Tamron Hall show not too long ago. I think this could have been 2 years or so ago, when she brought her husband on the show and baby Brooklyn. Okay. It had to be more than 2 years, because I feel like baby Brooklyn is way over 2 years old. Okay. So they went on the show, and that's when she introduced her relationship. She did all of that, and now Tamron Hall kind of takes her down memory lane from where she was versus where she is. Okay, and I kind of want to get into that, but I'm going to go ahead and play the audio for you guys so you can see exactly what all was discussed. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just get into that.
I tell you, there are certain shows, I'll be very honest, that haunt me to this day.
Oh,
Yours is one of them.
yeah.
Because you were here on the set. You were talking about love with Mark. Let me play the clip.
I think my prayers were answered when I met my husband.
Yeah.
At 46, I met the love of my life.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring the love of your life, Kenya's darling husband, Mark, and baby Brooklyn.
Yes,
let's
baby
meet them
Brooklyn.
all. Come on.
Just being there, being supportive, kind of being hopeful, and being just positive, and just being behind her was what it's all about.
Sorry.
It was, that's okay. So we taped that show. That was actually the very first show. My baby even appeared on the show. So we were there with our babies. 3 days after that, I got my phone, and it was, they're divorcing. They're breaking up. I text you. I said, are you okay?
Yeah.
Or something to that
And
effect.
I appreciated that.
But I was like, did something happen backstage? What happened?
We were having problems, and there was always this hope that we could get over it, that we could go to counseling and that it could be better. And during your show was like a highlight of our lives because it was the first time he was like really supportive of me. Our whole family was together. And when we got back to Atlanta, we did a filming for Real Housewives, and it was like this huge event that we had put a lot of energy into. And it was a struggle just to like work through our differences even during the show. And a lot of it was exposed, just how we weren't getting along or we weren't on the same page. Or as I said before, I just felt like my voice was stifled a lot because I felt like I had to be a certain kind of person and wife to get along with him and his personality. And that's not what a marriage is about. So
when you walked out the doors, and of course I've now watched the clip a million times looking for signs. And there was one point in it, he says something about supporting you, and you looked down.
And I did like that.
You did like that. I said, and my producer said, that was the tell.
Yeah.
Were his words not ringing true, or was what you presented to us not real?
No, everything that I do is real. However, it's up and down. He supported me in my business at times, but he never supported me when it came to the show. In fact, in the beginning, he refused to film.
But I mean, is that a bad thing? Because listen,
It's
people
not a
go
bad
on the
thing.
show and then their marriage is in, or they end up in jail. That's why I'll never go on one of these shows.
Right.
But I could see how a person, man or woman, would enter that world and say, I signed up for Kenya. I don't know if I want to be on this. So is that a bad thing?
Well, it was the way in which he could have supported me.
Okay.
And that never happened. I protected him as much as I could. I protected our marriage as much as I could. But there were signs in the very beginning before he ever stepped foot on the show, or that was never an issue. In fact, I was very adamant about telling the producers I'm not going to put him on the show. If that's something that he doesn't want to do and it'll affect our relationship in a negative way, I said no. But it was the other stuff that was going on.
So fast forward, because I mean, he's not here, and we don't like to go back and forth on these things. But where you are now, I was struck by the fact that you've said that you are not co-parenting right now. I know that you struggle.
Well, we're trying. We're
trying. So you're now trying. Because that hurt me too, because I know how much you adore Brooklyn, and I know that you've been open with your fans and with us about your childhood, being raised by your grandmother and trying to reconcile with your mother. Family means everything.
Everything
and
to
Brooklyn
me.
is your family.
Yes.
So what's going on?
And I'm very protective of my daughter, and that's her dad.
Yeah.
And he has been there in terms of speaking to her on FaceTime every day, but the fact of like seeing her in person has not been there. And that breaks my heart because I don't want that for her. And even though now that's her normal, but I don't want that to be her normal. And
I know.
So we're trying.
Yeah,
we're trying.
So y'all just heard what Kenya Moore said, all right? It was some interesting things that she said that I didn't even catch when I watched the sit down between her and her husband and Tamron, and how he talked about how he was supporting her, but she looked down at the floor like, supporting me how? And then it's the fact that she felt like she had no voice at all in the relationship. And I feel like she may have always had a voice in the relationship, but I think that because she wanted it so bad, she allowed her voice to not be heard and allow him to get his way so that he wouldn't end up leaving her. She would be alone and she could kind of have her fairy tale dream at a later time, whatever, you know what I'm saying? At some point, that's something that she wanted, the fairy tale dream or whatever. And it's sad that she had to, go inward with her voice and everything and the lack of support or whatever else she had going on for the sake of saving her marriage, only for her marriage to still get to where it was, because that's not where he wanted to be. And that's not where he genuinely was. He was just, somewhat fake, if you ask me. So I really hate that for her. And when she thinks about her daughter and how they don't really co-parent because he's not effective with making sure that he sees her or anything like that, like, girl, I hate that for her. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy, because it's like, dang, Kenya Moore, as rich as she is, as beautiful as she is, as much as she got it going on like she do, it's like Miss Kenya Moore is a single mom, like a lot of single moms out here. And it's crazy to hear that this man isn't even trying to be involved in his daughter's life is what it sounds like. Even though Kenya Moore is saying that she's trying, I feel like, or at least saying they're trying, I feel like her saying they're trying is her way of trying to like soften things and not make him look so bad in the media, because she knows how he can kind of, be, you know what I'm saying, vindictive or whatever the case may be, is what I'm thinking. So I feel like that's why she's probably trying to like save face, to be like, well, we're trying. Like, I hate that, she can't see her daddy. She's not seeing her daddy in the way that she typically is able to see her dad. And I mean, I hate that for baby Brooklyn. He probably up there doing whatever it is he want to do, going where he want to go, traveling and all this or that, but not traveling down to really see his daughter. But then the question is, will Kenya allow her to go up there? That's a good question. I'm wondering. I would think probably not, if he's not going to be actively there with the child and the child end up with somebody else. I probably wouldn't send mine. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know their dynamic, but I really hate that, because she's getting it from, two different sides. She's having to resolve this divorce because she's upset about that, or not upset about that, but she wants to get that resolved. But then also she's upset about the fact that her daughter can't really see her dad as Kenya would want her to see her dad, because of the relationship, when she looks back on her own childhood, the things that she's been through. So I just hate that for her. And then the crazy thing is, like, if he's not as active as we would want him to be now, when the divorce is finalized and he likely doesn't get anything that he wants, is he going to take that out on baby Brooklyn? Like, what is that going to look like? You feel what I'm saying? I mean, it's giving. I will say at the end of the day, Miss Kenya Moore will forever have a storyline as long as she's a part of Real Housewives of Atlanta, because people going to always want to be in her business when it comes to this. We're going to want to know what's really going on when it comes to, this whole marital situation or divorce situation she got going on with Marc. I hate that for her. But I just wanted to come to y'all real quick so y'all can be up to date on what's going on with Miss Kenya Moore and how her marriage or her divorce is not moving forward, and the reason why it's kind of held up. He ain't signed no prenup, and that man want to give him a little coin, and I feel like Kenya ain't trying to give him no coin. I don't blame Kenya, because she worked hard for that. Period. Y'all wasn't even together long enough, right? And that's the other thing. It's like, can she not get it annulled? Like, just get it annulled. But maybe it's different. She probably wants child support. They got a baby. Girl, it's a lot going on, okay? But I'm going to let you guys go ahead and hop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and comments about everything that I just talked about on the quick chat regarding Miss Kenya Moore. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.